Everyone thinks getting rich means 80-hour weeks, skipping sleep, and risking it all on one big bet. But what if the key to real wealth was in the tiniest habits? Because I didn't become a millionaire by working harder. I did it by stacking small wins that most people overlook. Hello, I'm Jonathan from Pair Portfolio, and at one point, my wife and I were overwhelmed with over $250,000 in debt. And although we had stable jobs, it still felt like we were drowning financially. However, our turning point didn't come from one big break. It came from stacking small wins. You see, I learned that building wealth wasn't about drinking some energy drink or investing in one single stock or crypto coin. It was about something far less dramatic, but far more powerful. Small, consistent behaviors that quietly compound over time. And I call them micro habits, tiny intentional actions that integrate seamlessly into your daily routines. And these habits, they changed everything for me. Today, I want to share 10 of the most impactful micro habits we've used that can help you transform your finances, mindset, and most importantly, your life. Improving just 1% each day might not feel like much, but that's the magic of it. Most people overlook these small improvements because they don't feel dramatic. But when you stay consistent, those tiny gains begin to compound in powerful ways. Mathematically, getting 1% better each day leads to being 37 times better by the end of the year. And in real life, the transformation is just as profound. For me, that 1% showed up in small choices that felt almost insignificant at the moment. Some mornings it meant reading just 5 pages of a personal finance book, or often it meant cooking a meal instead of grabbing takeout, or pausing for a moment those add to cart now on Amazon and asking myself, do I really need this? You see, I didn't overhaul my life overnight, but day by day, those micro decisions stacked up. I became more mindful with my money, more confident in my ability to learn, and more intentional with my time. The power wasn't that it was something big. It didn't do a dramatic leap. It was about showing up daily, doing one small thing, and being better every day. And trusting that over time, things would carry me out to a better future. Most people follow a backward system. The paycheck comes in, they pay the bills, cover their expenses, maybe they even treat themselves a little. And they try to save whatever is left over. But the problem is here that there's rarely anything left. And even when there is, saving becomes more optional instead of essential. But the wealthy, they think differently. They flip the script. They treat savings and investing as non-negotiable, just like rent or groceries. That mind shift is what changed everything for me and my wife. As soon as the paycheck hits the bank account, I don't even touch the money. Automated transfers are sent immediately to different accounts. At first, we could only afford 10%, and honestly, it felt like a stretch. But we were still able to crawl out of being weighed down by the 6-figure debt. And we committed. As our income grew, we gradually increased our percentage. It became part of our system. What makes this work so well is that it removed decision fatigue. You don't have to rely on willpower or motivation. It's already done, automatically, in the background, like a subscription to your future. And that consistency is what builds real wealth over time. Not a sudden windfall, not guessing the best crypto coin. Just steady, intentional savings that happens whether you're thinking about it or not. Paying yourself first is just a financial tactic. It's a statement. You're saying, my future matters. My goals matter. And I'm not waiting to see what's left over. I'm building my legacy on purpose. For a long time, my goals sounded like everyone else's. Get better with money, save more, or pay off debt someday. But you see, big goals create big results. It wasn't until I started writing down specific, measurable, time-bound goals that I actually started to see progress. Writing your goals down does something powerful. It turns a wish into a target. It gives your brain a direction and a deadline. And when your goals are specific, your actions naturally become more intentional. So instead of saying, I want to save for a house, say, I want to save $100,000 for a down payment for a house by this certain date. That clarity shapes your daily decisions, how you spend, what you say yes or no to, and where your focus goes. And don't just write down your goals because you'll forget them. Put them where you can see them, on your mirror, your fridge, your desk. Goals that stay in your head are easy to ignore, but goals that live in your environment become part of your identity. When we were drowning in over $250,000 in debt, the idea of even spending $50 on a course or a book felt reckless. Our mindset was stuck in scarcity, thinking we can't afford that. But over time, I realized that the right education isn't a cost. It's a shortcut. It's an accelerator to your goals. We eventually broke through that fear and spent a couple $100, no lie, on a blogging course. It was a stretch at that time, but that single investment sparked what we know today as Parent Portfolio. Our business that now generates passive income, helps thousands of families improve their finances, is something that I'm very proud of today. That one decision that planted a seed in our brains created a whole new income stream. Since then, I've continued to invest in ways to grow my knowledge base. And every time, the returns have exceeded the upfront cost. Not just in money, but in confidence, clarity, and momentum. Too often, people see investing in themselves as a luxury. But when you do it strategically, it's one of the highest ROI moves you can make. You'll never lose money by learning the skills that make you more valuable, more resourceful, and more confident. Whether it's mastering personal finance, learning to start a business, or developing leadership skills, growth always pays dividends. So don't be afraid to spend money where it matters most, your growth. Because the more you grow, the more opportunities you create for yourself, your family, and most especially your future. When we first started getting serious about our finances, we didn't have any fancy tools or apps. We just had a notepad, pen, and the truth. One of the weekends, my wife and I would just sit down and write what we spent that day. It wasn't glamorous. Sometimes it felt tedious. But what it gave us was something very important, and that's awareness. Before we started tracking, we generally believed we didn't spend that much. But once we saw it all laid out, every coffee run, every Target impulse buy, every $9.99 subscription, we realized our money wasn't disappearing. We were giving it away without realizing it. Eventually, we switched to tools like YNAB for convenience, but the heart of the habit didn't change. To this day, I do a quick daily check-in, just 5 minutes just to glance at our transactions. It helps us categorize our spending and make sure we are still aligned with our goals. It's not about obsessing over every penny. It's about staying connected to where your money is and understanding where it's really going. But here's the truth. Most financial stress doesn't come from major emergencies. It comes from a death by 1,000 cuts. The little things you don't even notice until they snowball into overdraft fees, credit card balances, and that same feeling of, where did all my money go? Tracking your spending is like turning on the lights in the dark room. It may not fix everything immediately, but it gives you clarity to start taking control. And clarity is the first step towards transformation. So when we launched Parent Portfolio, we had no audience, and honestly, no idea what we were doing. We second-guessed everything. What if nobody visited our site? What if we look so unprofessional and goofy? What if we fail? But eventually we made a decision that changed everything. We hit publish. And that one act of courage unlocked momentum we didn't even know that we were capable of. Here's a truth that most people don't realize. Waiting to feel ready is just another form of procrastination. You'll never feel 100% prepared. There'll always be more to learn, something else to tweak, a reason to delay. But the clarity doesn't come before the leap. It comes after. Once you start moving, things that seem confusing begin to make sense. The path reveals itself only after you take the first step. The first blog post didn't make us rich, but it made us braver. It taught us more in one launch than months of research ever could. And that imperfect start led to the experience, confidence, and insights that help us grow Parent Portfolio what it is today. So don't wait until the conditions are perfect. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Whether it's starting a side hustle, asking for a raise, or building a financial plan, start being messy. Adjust as you go. Learn by doing, because the only thing worse than failing is staying stuck because you never tried. So this isn't just about staying in shape or hitting a fitness goal. It's about mental clarity, emotional stability, and long-term resilience. I used to think exercise was something optional, something I'd squeeze in if I had time. But once I started taking 30-minute walks every morning, everything began to shift. I wasn't just moving my body, I was thinking more clearly. Those walks became more of a quiet space to process stress, plan my day, and work through challenges without distractions. I noticed I was calmer with my kids, more focused when I sat down, and more confident with my decisions. It became my thinking time. And honestly, some of my best business ideas were born on those sidewalk strolls around the neighborhood. There's something powerful about stepping away from the noise. No screens, no demands, just movement and mental space. That consistent physical habit didn't just help my health, it sharpened my discipline, creativity, and patience, which poured into every area of my life, whether that's parenting, business, marriage, and money. When you take care of your body, you're not just investing in your physical well-being, you're building the internal strength to show up as your best self. And in the long-term game of building wealth and freedom, your health is your foundation. Most people try to save money by cutting back on the little joys, like skipping their coffee runs or saying no to date nights. But the truth is, you don't need to cut on lattes. You need to cut on your fixed expenses. That's where the real savings are hiding. Every 6 months is like clockwork. We go through our recurring bills, car insurance, internet, phone plans, even subscriptions. Then I either shop around for a better rate or pick up the phone and negotiate. And it's not always fun, but it works. We save more money on our internet bill simply by switching to a new provider. And if we had bank fees, another story, we reminded them that we were loyal customers and they easily waived it. The first time we did it, we were a little bit nervous. We didn't want to seem like we were pushy or awkward, but we realized that these companies want to keep our business. We're not being difficult, we were being smart. We didn't walk into a store, hand over extra money and say, no need for change. Yet most of us do that every month with our bills, and the impact can add up fast. Saving $100 per month on fixed expenses is $1,200 a year. Or 5 years, that's $6,000, not counting what you could earn if you invested those savings. And all from a few simple phone calls and some comparison shopping. This isn't about being frugal, it's about being intentional. The goal isn't to deprive yourself, it's to redirect your money towards things that actually build your future. So yes, enjoy your latte, but don't pay more than you have to for essentials. Be a kind person who knows their number. Make the calls and keep more of what you earned because you deserve it. Time is the one resource you can't get back, and yet it's the one most people waste without even realizing it. We often think success means grinding longer hours, but I've learned it's not about working harder or more. Instead, it's about working smarter. That secret isn't about how much you spend, but how focused you are during that time. That's why when I started tracking my time by deep work hours, those uninterrupted blocks were when I'm fully dialed in on meaningful tasks, whether I'm writing content, strategizing for our business, or reviewing our real estate deals. I keep a sticky note just to keep me on target and focused. No distractions, no multitasking, just focused, high impact work. Some days I only get 2 hours. Others, I might get 3. But those few hours of deep work are consistent and outperform a 10-hour day of just scattered effort. In fact, this shift helped me do what many people think is impossible, and that's grow a business while still having time for my family and my personal life. Before this habit, I spent all day, quote unquote, working, but end the day feeling like I got nothing done. My so-called to-do list was long, my brain was scattered, and I was always chasing the next task. Now, I know exactly what I need to do because I'm focused and I give it my full attention with these uninterrupted blocks. So if you want to create more freedom in your life, start being more intentional with your time. Even just 1 to 2 hours of deep locked in time, it allows you to think more clearly, be more focused with your needle, whether it's your career, business, or finances. Remember, it's all about what you want to do with your time and be sure to protect it. When you're chasing a big goal, whether it's paying off debt, launching a side hustle, or building wealth, it's easy to lose steam. Life gets busy, motivation fades, doubt creeps in, and that's why accountability isn't just helpful, it's essential. When my wife and I were deep in debt, we started holding regular check-ins. We sit down, look at our budget, track our debt, and we talk through our financial decisions. Some weeks, they're honestly tough. We didn't always hit our goals, and we didn't always agree. But knowing we were in it together kept us going. That simple rhythm gave us clarity, encouragement, and unity. Later, as we transitioned into entrepreneurship, I joined a mastermind group with other business owners. Every week, we shared our wins, challenges, and goals. And you better believe it, that knowing I had to report back made me have to follow through, even on the hard or uncomfortable stuff. Accountability turned intentions into actions. It doesn't have to be formal. A single text from someone saying, "Did you transfer money to your savings this week?" Or "Did you publish that post you talked about?" It can be the nudge you need to stay on track. Studies even show that having an accountability partner can increase your chances of success by up to 95%. The truth is, you were never meant to pursue growth alone. When you surround yourself with people who want to see you win and who aren't afraid to challenge you when you drift, you create a system of support that helps you stay consistent long after motivation runs out. So find your person, your group, your circle, and let them help you stay aligned with the future you're building. So these micro habits didn't just improve our bank account, they reshaped who we were becoming. They helped us go from overwhelmed and overworked to intentional and in control. We didn't win the lottery or make some lucky investment. We stacked small wins that compounded over time and changed everything. These micro habits built the foundation for financial freedom, stronger relationships, and a more fulfilling life. And the best part, you can start with just one. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to do it all at once. You just need to begin and keep going. And if you're ready to take the next step to build a better future and you want a clear financial system that is tailored to your lifestyle, we'd love to help you get there. In the link in the description down below, you can apply to our financial coaching program where we help you reach your goals and come up with a personalized plan. And if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. Remember, let's keep building wealth together, one small, intentional habit at a time.